This might be a dumb question, but why is Benjamin Franklin on a $100 bill? Hear me out. So, Benjamin Franklin was never president. However, he's featured on the $100 bill. Our very first president, George Washington, is on the $1 bill and the penny. And Abraham Lincoln is on the $5 bill and the dime. The man literally abolished slavery and then was assassinated, and he gets $5. But for some reason, Benjamin Franklin, okay, is on the $100 bill. How did we decide this? How? Okay, I get that he was a founding father. I get that he helped write the Declaration of Independence in the Constitution. It's all good stuff. I'm taking nothing away from that. That's a big deal. I mean, hey, I wasn't there. I haven't signed any very important documents that will be used for over 200 years as a founding document for an entire country and society. Hey, I'm not saying I have. I have not done that. That's a big accomplishment. However, if he did all that, why did he become president if they like him that much? That's what I'm saying. Like, I know a lot of those guys that signed the declaration actually did become president. John Adams, and then the other John Adams, and then Thomas Jefferson, and then okay, I don't know who else signed it. Okay, John Hancock. Was he ever president? I don't know a lot about him. Let me go see. Let's go. Let's go to our friend Google. Was John Hancock. Apparently he's famous, right? Because he had the biggest signature on the Declaration of Independence. But he ever president? I don't know all the presidents. John Hancock was not a US president, but he served as president of the Continental Congress from 1775. Okay, I digress. I digress, okay? I'm just trying to see what was. Oh, that's what he looked like. Yeah, not so bad looking, I suppose. I don't know. Some of them look worse. Oh, some of the photos, anyway. Some of the photos. Don't come for me. Okay. Well, Benjamin Franklin was not president. He was a diplomat. He was a scientist. He was an inventor. And yes, I do. I get that he has the whole wise old man vibe, right? But we never talk about him. We don't talk, I mean, we talk about him, but not as much as we talk about Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. Like, those two presidents are talked about extensively in school. They have all kind of monuments and documentaries and movies and uh your kid knows George Washington's name by the time they're 5. Do they know Benjamin Franklin's name? I'm not saying, I'm just asking a question here. I'm just saying. In fact, I was so curious about Benjamin Franklin that um I was looking for a documentary. Like, I was looking for something that I can watch to learn about Benjamin Franklin because I need to, like, I want to understand why he's not talked about a lot. And then this is before I came to the thought of, like, but this man is on a $100 bill. He's on the highest denomination of currency that we still utilize in circulation today in America. I know almost I know very little about him. I mean, there's not even a monument for him at the National Mall. Or if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. Please, please do correct me. But I've been to the National Mall, and I love history, by the way. And I was dying to go to the National Mall. When I went, I think I looked at almost everything. If I overlooked something, maybe I overlooked the monument of Benjamin Franklin, but I did not see him. He was not there. So also, he's not even at the Mount Rushmore. Who's on Mount Rushmore? It's Lincoln, Washington, and who's on Mount Rushmore? Theodore Roosevelt and Thomas Jefferson. That's right. Here are these guys right here. Okay. So Benjamin Franklin is on the highest denomination of currency in America, but he's not on Mount Rushmore. I'm just saying, what did this guy do? Like, who makes these rules? Like, how do you get to be, like, who decides who gets to be on the money? And who decides what denomination of dollar bill? Because I'm trying to figure out how you decide to put Benjamin Franklin on a $100 bill when I'm not saying it's collective. Maybe it's just me who don't know a lot about Benjamin Franklin. I know he was an inventor. I know he was a very, very smart man. I know he invented a lot of stuff, and I know that he had a lot to do with, like I said, the Constitution and the Declaration. And I know his opinion was very, very valued. But that's because I had gone to look for a documentary on Benjamin Franklin, and I could not find one that is in pop, like one that is available in pop culture, like at all, like that you can find as far as like if you're looking on a streaming service or on anywhere like that, you can't find a documentary on really on Benjamin Franklin. But there's plenty of stuff on Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. I'm just saying, the place where I found Benjamin Franklin, a Benjamin Franklin documentary, I'm using air quotes, if you will, was on YouTube. It was on YouTube, and I believe that the person, did some homework, but you can't trust everything you hear on YouTube. It's filled with a lot of opinions. But so I'm saying that to say that it was it's done by a peer. It wasn't like done by a historian. So Um, and that's where I found out that he had one famous quote that I know this quote, but I did not know this quote came from Benjamin Franklin. The quote is, you guys have probably heard it. A penny saved is a penny earned. Yes, that's some real wise man stuff right there. Like, yeah, big wise man energy, right? However, I did not know that was a Benjamin Franklin quote. Yeah. That quote totally sounds like something that could have came from any folklore grandfather. Anyways, so I don't know. I guess I'm trying to understand how these decisions are made. Of course, I'm not in those rooms. I'll never be in those rooms. But he's not on Mount Rushmore. He doesn't have a monument at the National Mall. Let me know. And maybe he has some monument at some like prestigious colleges. I know that happens. But if so, I haven't heard. If you know where his monuments are or where there are some, please leave it below. Explain it to me like I'm five. Okay. Um, which led me to another thought. Like, did he and listen, this is no, I'm not coming for our founding father, right? I'm just saying in today's day, we go to a particular thoughts, and it's not to say people, it's, well, yeah, people do it. People do it. So I have to mention it. Was his status bought? Oh, that's not shade, y'all. That's not. It's not. But usually, well, here in today's day and age, you can buy status. I'm just saying. I'm not saying this man, founding father, Benjamin Franklin, was not valued enough to just be on it. But I'm saying there is a such thing as buying your status. Do y'all think he bought his way onto the $100 bill? Oh my God, that's terrible to think about. I'm sorry I even came to that thought. Um, but yeah, I guess these are just questions, and I don't know. It'll probably keep me up at night, right? But I just had to come on and ask why Abraham Lincoln literally abolished slavery. And George Washington was a war hero. He literally he led war to help us get dependence from become independent from Britain. And he's on the $1 bill. Why do you only get a dollar for that? Why do you only get a penny for that? Or is he on a nickel? Let me go see because I don't want to be just throwing stuff out there. Is George, who's on the nickel? Because I think that's George Washington. Oh, that's Thomas Jefferson. Okay, so he's on the penny. George Washington is on the penny. Oh, Lincoln is on the penny. Lincoln is on the penny in the $5 bill. So we got $5.01. That's what he worth. Okay. Okay, the quarter. I'm sorry, y'all. My memory fails me right now. George Washington is on the quarter, right? Yes. So George Washington is worth $1.25. Abe Lincoln is worth $5.01. Benjamin Franklin, who was not a leader, a presidential leader. And I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't a leader. He was a leader. Clearly, they value him enough to have him help write the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. I don't know what pieces of those he wrote. I know what pieces of them certain other people wrote. Thomas Jefferson, we hold these truths to be self evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by certain unalienable rights. Okay, I'm not going to go on. I only know that because I had to give that speech when I was in the fifth grade. When I was in the fifth grade, I gave a speech, and my part of the speech was George Jefferson. George Jefferson. Oh, sheesh. Thomas Jefferson's portion of the Constitution. So I remember that part. But I'm just saying there are memorable parts of the Constitution. You know who wrote and George Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson was on the $20 bill, right? Who was on the $20 bill? I know it's not 29, $20 bill. I think it's George Thomas Jefferson. Why do I keep it's Andrew Jackson. Okay, Andrew Jackson. How did he get on the $20 bill? What was he? I would like to know what Andrew Jackson was famous for. I know he was actually a president. Yeah, seventh president. He was the seventh president. Yeah. Okay, and see, and $20. Okay, I think it's fair. You get a $20 denomination for being the seventh president. Okay, uh, what bill was Thomas Jefferson on? What currency is Thomas Jefferson? $2. $2. Oh, I have a $2 bill. But this is the bill that is the least circulated. But he was actually a president, and he actually helped write the Constitution, sign the Declaration of Independence, and he gets $2. So we got George Washington worth $1.25. Abraham Lincoln worth $5.01. Thomas Jefferson is worth being on $2. He's $2. Okay. He also appears on a nickel, $2.05. Okay. And Benjamin Franklin is on a $100 bill. Well, hey, it's all about the Benjamins, I guess. All right. Well, I don't want to go on too long. Actually, I would like to, if you guys have theories, please explain it to me like I'm five in the comments. But let's see if this is being talked about because I don't understand. Let's see. Let's do Benjamin Franklin. A $100 bill. Okay. Tell us how to spot the Benjamin Franklin watermarks and these hundred. Okay. The boss says this bill is okay. It is just old. Okay. It's a lot of fake dollar bills, $100 bills going on here. By the way, George Washington will only be worth, I mean, Abraham Lincoln would only be worth $5 soon, right? Because isn't the one penny now currently out of circulation? I think they said the penny is going out of circulation. I don't see anybody talking about this. Benjamin Franklin looks disappointed in what people use $100 bills for. What do people use $100 bills for? Is this mildly interesting? Nothing has changed in any way, but somehow this guy's high thoughts are worthy of a post. Huh? To repost. Benjamin Franklin is actually somewhat notorious for his extracurricular activities. What extracurricular activities? Was he a street pharmacist? What's the extracurricular activities? I don't think he would have been disappointed in recreational use of $100 bill if it was in pursuit of companionship. No! So he was oh, really? Okay. Benjamin Franklin wrote a lot of letters. I know that. Read his letter, advice to a young man on the choice of a mistress. So he paid for the women. Wow. Listen, you can't believe everything you read or everything you hear. Only believe half of what don't believe none of what you hear and half of what you see, right? That's what they say. So I'm just trying to see what's being discussed here. Uh, but I don't see anybody. Okay, so they say, what's his claim to fame? Benjamin Franklin? Really? Pretty well known for his political maneuvering, his scientific contributions, his public works, and his legendary. All right. Well, somebody under here comments and says, "I know his name, but anything else, I'm also not an American though." Okay, but still, you're not an American, but I'm pretty sure you know who Trump is. Pretty sure you know who Obama is. I'm pretty sure you know who George Washington is. I'm pretty sure you know who Abraham Lincoln. This proves my like this goes toward my point even more. Like, why do people not know Benjamin Franklin, and yet he gets the highest denomination? I need to know. Like, these comments. Oh, it's all about the Benjamins, baby. Somebody calls him fat on the watermark. Oh, okay. So this one only has 4 comments, but I want to know. I was today years old when I learned that C Note got his name from Benjamin Miles Franklin, the $100 bill. That is all. His actual name is Benjamin Miles Franklin. Benjamin Franklin didn't have a middle name, LOL. C Note's middle name is Miles. I don't know who C Note is. If you know, explain it to me like I'm 5 in the comments. Oh, that's why it's called the $100 bill is the Roman numeral C. C is the Roman numeral for 100. Okay, a C note. Got it. Got it. Understood. Okay, I want to know, but not Abe Lincoln. Nobody talking about this, really? I don't think anybody's talking about this, guys. Well, if you have a theory or you know why or why do I don't think that I don't really think any reasoning is going to get me to agree that he should be on the $100 bill, but I love to hear your theories. Leave them down below. Explain it to me like I'm five. All right. Well, I guess this is just a late night thought once again. And you know what? I am going to probably end up down the rabbit hole on this, uh, or else it'll probably keep me up at night.